Hello, my name's Christine, and I own a therapeutic bodywork business called Unwind Body and Mind in Northwest Indiana. And I have come to find some really good results with bodywork techniques specifically for lymphedema clients. And we had such good results with one client that he brought his friend in that was suffering from some of the same issues. And we've also had amazing results. So I want to try and help as many people as possible. Some of these things are not, you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to be specialized to do it. It is just some movements that will help to bring life back into that area and the surroundings areas, because the body is systemic as a whole. So even if you address that specific area, it's the whole body that needs to work properly and needs to be on the same page. So I'm going to give you maybe a couple of different options and kind of try to coach you through some movements. It may be one video to explain about it, and then another two. One would be the stimulation-based approach to lymphedema that I have found with my clients, and then the other one is my hypothesis, so I'll probably put that in another video. And if you're wondering, this is Tesla behind me. Cool project with my my friend, Connected Paint, my friend Randy. And each person does a little piece of the puzzle, if you will, and it all comes together to make this awesome collage. So anyways, let me get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is stimulation-based approach to lymphedema. I did not seek out a client for lymphedema. I really hadn't had a lot of interest in it before. I had an interest in lymphomas, which will get me to my second thing, which is leech therapy. And we'll get into that. That's a whole other ballgame, but and that's just a hypothesis, but I think it is a pretty valid hypothesis. So we'll get into that later. But first of all, I want to tell you about things that have worked, because it seems like a lot of people suffering for lymphedema with lymphedema is that it can be extremely debilitating, and you may be bedridden or just have a really hard time doing just the normal things in life. So I want to try and give everybody a little advice of things that you can do at home with yourself or with a loved one. And I'll give you a few tips here in just a minute. Okay, back with my little chart that I wanted to show you. So this little chart that you may be familiar with, there are different kind of acupuncture points, acupressure, they're the meridians of the body. So when the whole system is working, everything should flow very well. When we have issues where it's pooling in the legs or in any part of the body, something's not going on right. So I am somehow attracted to these points. I don't know. I don't even question it anymore. I have an ability and I can do that. So my clients come to me for overall health. But what I found is that what I do in the course of everybody is start out with a lot of tapping, and I tap the whole body out. It doesn't matter what's going on with them. The first few sessions need to be stimulating the whole body so that everything is woken up and everything is kind of back on startup. So if you have blockages somewhere, if you have lymph pooling, if you have old injuries, some of those old traumas are still stuck in there. I have a background in craniosacral unwinding, and that's an energy-based approach, but very, very powerful. And it's essentially all I do now. I do not do any typical massage. You won't find me doing a Swedish type massage. So all of my work is therapeutic. Everybody's got, just very comfortable clothes on, and they are on my table, and I just walk around and I move all through the body. So it's not like, I start here and like there's no routine to it. It is just what is going on with that person's body. So what I found is the first couple of sessions, first few sessions of any client is all essentially the same. Now with the lymphedema, my client had at least one, had the vein removed to put into the heart. So then began his journey with the lymphedema, because then the lymph couldn't get back up. We've changed a few different things, like putting him on a good salt, good Himalayan or Celtic salt, to draw in the fluids into the cells versus into the tissues. I think I suggested cayenne pepper to stimulate the ends, the fingers and toes, the extremities, where the capillaries are very small, and to get circulation in there. So I think I suggested, and everybody, you know, like, of course, consult with your doctor. This is a very serious issue, but some of these things are non-harmful, and some of the benefits are the wide-ranging. I don't remember what that word is, but it will help with a lot of different ailments. So that's one that pretty much everyone can take. I suggest that once a day, as well as 2 big cinnamon pills, and they have to be the right ones. The one with the, I think it's curcumin or something. And so what that may help with is, in addition to helping to regulate your blood sugar, it may help to remove some of the plaque buildup in the veins and arteries, which you could see being a very helpful thing. So again, always ask your doctor. This is not medical advice. It is just some suggestions that could be beneficial with very, very little side effects, if any. So I always tell people about that. And then when I'm talking about the stimulation-based approach, several years ago, I started working on myself, and then some of these moves have just gone into my clients. So when I first started this, what I did was I was somehow just tapping my body. And I did this for a while. Sorry, my camera went away. I did this for a while, and I didn't know why I was doing it, but it felt amazing. It felt like my whole body was being regenerated, and it was just so stimulating. So when you're doing that with your abdomen, I mean, like, all of your insides are getting stimulated, right? Like, even when you're getting a massage, the stuff inside does not ever get that wake-up call. But with tapping, it's a vibration that's working all the way through all of those organs, everything inside there. So that is a move that I'm always tapping on my clients' stomachs, and everybody's a little bit, you know, like, self-conscious about it, but it is one of the best things because, like I said, it's waking up the whole system. So, you know, like on my breast, that's what you can do to yourself. I mean, it's just tissue, right? But it's sometimes inappropriate for somebody else to be doing this to you. So again, it's not just the place that you have the edema. It's the whole body as a whole. It's like everything is connected. And you wouldn't think, you know, I mean, like these lines, you know, they pass through the whole body. They pass through the whole body. Your lung, your liver, all of these have connections throughout the whole body. So it's not just right there. The stimulation-based approach, I tell my clients that, you know, I have little hitty sticks is what I call them. And they're kind of tapping devices that really just called my name. At some point I saw them somewhere and I was like, and I just needed them. So I will tap clients, I will tap myself like this, and what I do is I just start somewhere and I will feel it want to move. And a lot of times it will, and do it gently. I mean, like, this is not very comfortable. I have a mallet around here somewhere that I do like face and sharp bones. But I feel it going different places, and it usually follows these meridians out the fingers and toes. So I just follow. I don't say, hey, this person has this issue, I'm going to poke here and here because I know that that's what that meridian, where that meridian is. I do it the opposite. I follow it, and then sometimes later I will go back and say, that was interesting. I wonder what was involved there if I don't already know it. So it takes the self and the ego out, and you're just tapping. So if you are tapping on yourself, it's even more powerful because that is you connecting with your own body. I know this is getting long, but please just, if you have this, hang in there, because hopefully you'll get some good nuggets out of here, and just just start tapping yourself. So how hard and how fast and whatever. People with lymphedema have some serious issues with their connective tissue, with their skin. Everything is super fragile. Everything is super like intense because it hurts so bad. I mean, you know, how many times have we gotten something that is so swollen and it just hurts so bad? So, you know, it hurts. So, not to mention when you're tapping and you're tapping on certain veins and arteries that have been compromised, like if you have blood clots or something and you're tapping, you have to be very gentle because it's a whole systemic thing. And if you're not taking anything to kind of clean those veins out, you could dislodge something, right? So we want to go into it with that information and be very careful about it. One of my clients, I have been able to get deeper around the really scary area of where he got operated on in his upper thigh in the upper groin, not in the groin area, but a little bit further down. He had to have it repaired several times. So that still gives me fear. I'm very gentle around there, but I have been able to get deeper, like as the leg goes down and into the foot, and the circulation has gotten better, and his feeling has started regaining lower and lower and lower into the down to the foot. And then on the other one, like the coldness has gone away. So one foot had just the tips of the toes, the other one, and then around the ankle, it seemed like it was cool there, where it was a little bit like lymphedema was cooling, but it was not below, and it wasn't necessarily up. So it was like just this one little area that it had moved to. So we're just gently and over time working through, you know, where it's still pooling and having issues, as well as now it's getting less and less swollen. There's more feeling coming back. And with the feeling that's coming back, sometimes it's uncomfortable because if we haven't been touched there in so long, and the tissue is just doesn't have a lot of blood to it, you know, that's going to affect things. So, okay, so as far as tapping is concerned, the frequency and duration. What's interesting is if whatever music I'm playing, I tend to play to that beat. So I tend to play the people like the music that I'm listening to, because everything is frequency, everything is vibration, and that's a whole other sidebar conversation. And by the way, I'm better with like back and forth communication. This one way is, I do apologize if I'm rambling on or da 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 da, but I am better with like questions and answers, but I don't know how to do that just yet. So that's something I'd like to do in the future. So again, with the tapping and the movement. So I use kind of a rolled hand. This is a Qigong movement, and it is moving the energy of the breaking up blockages, whatever, like a rolling. So if you put your hand like this is my open hand. This is basically how I go around the body, and I just move it around. So I don't need one of the hitty sticks, but I say if you don't have a hitty stick or something cool and you don't want to use your hands, which are your great tool, or if you can't reach something, that's another reason I had this, was you can just use a wooden spoon. You can use a mallet if you have some kind of a like drums or something like that. It's got a nice something soft. So if you end up tapping on your face, because like even in here, there's tons of lymph nodes, you know, all through. So anyways, just some tools and techniques. So this is a move, you know, and it's just, it's whatever you can do. like open fist. When you're doing yourself, you can just do slapping movements. And again, it's bringing the blood back into the system. After several treatments, I will start doing some cupping on the bottom of the foot when I start getting blood circulation in there, because that, blood is nourishing. It's the lifeblood. So when you get that blood in there nourishing that body area again, things start to change. All right, guys, so I'm giving away all my secrets and stuff. But literally anybody can do it. You just have to be careful, have your own, your ailments in mind. Don't go too hard and then, hurt yourself. This is serious. So, but it's also very, very easy. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is a hypothesis that I have. And it started with, it's leech therapy, and it started with lymphomas. And it was just a hypothesis that I thought about myself. And so I know that leeches got a bad name. They got a bad rap, and it was because people were using the leeches as a tool, right? And they wanted to do it faster. Every time the human gets involved, sometimes we just mess it up. So anyways, leeches are very cool. It's a very symbiotic relationship. And I know they're a little icky and whatever, but they can be your best friend if you have an issue that they can resolve. And so this is, again, it's just a hypothesis, but it may be onto something. So leeches will seek out not blood, but they want lymph. They want bad lymph. So when they attach to you, say in a river or something, they're going to go for a spot that they can tell has something they like. And they're going to go to areas that have bad lymph. So, excuse me, in that, people used to open up the veins to get them to attach quicker. They used metal devices, whatever. So they bled out their clients because they were opening them up too much. And that's where the stigma came from. Now, when a leech does it, they have something, excuse me. All right, sorry about the phone call. Back to leeches. So they got a bad rap. They go after lymph, not blood. So people, when they get involved, they kind of do stupid things. So leeches will fall off automatically when they have their fill. When they attach, I know they can be kind of squeamish and stuff, but when they do attach, their mouth has and it's not antiseptic. It is a numbing agent, kind of like their saliva has a numbing agent. So you don't really feel it going in, and then they just fill up with your fluid, and then when they have their fill and they're all engorged, they drop off by themselves. You don't have to put the salt on. That's the only time that you would really get a adverse reaction, unless it is specifically medical for you. So really with medical, you're not supposed to, use anything. It's like you don't want to share a needle, you don't want to share a leech, because if that they're taking out poisons from different things, and so they're going to have that. If you have a leech that is sterile and has never been on another human or whatever, it's not going to have anything that's going to damage you. But if it's not like that, so get medical ones. But I'm saying you should keep them. They're expensive. It's a symbiotic relationship. Humanitarian-wise, I would like to say, please take care of your leeches. They could be your best friends. If they're taking that stuff out of you, just that's you and your poison, and just keep sharing that. So anyways, you don't want to share your leeches. Very common sense. But anyways, the only time that can be, so like if you get them by chance in a river or something, you don't want to pour the salt on there, because then if they do happen to have anything inside of them, that's when they can transfer it to you. That's when it could be bad, is when they like regurgitate or they vomit back into your system because you've startled them. Like, what would you do? So anyways, don't do that. Just let them fall off naturally. And then the cool thing is that all of that stuff that's draining out is not blood. It's got a little bit of blood in it. It's tinged a little pink or whatever, but it's clear fluid. And that is still, even after they're off, they're still purging you of all of that lymph fluid that you want out anyways. So my hypothesis is that this would be good for people with lymphomas. And so that may just be something, and I don't really know that you can go to too awful many people to get that kind of service, but you can most certainly get them yourself and just keep them, you know, like watch some YouTube videos. Be good to your leeches. They'll be good to you, I think. So anyways, I'm going to be trying that on myself. My one client said, just give me the blindfold and he'll try it. So we're going to try it for lymphedema also, I think, when I can get the leeches. But that's just something I'm throwing out there. Again, talk to your doctor, like go through your own, you know, deciphering if that is something that you're willing to try. But I don't have any prior research with it, but I have looked up things regarding cancer, you know, like the real studies. So there have been a few with different cancers and stuff, and it just seems very logical to me that if we are talking about a lymph situation, that it could help both issues. So I know that this was a little long. I apologize, but thank you if you've held in there for this long, and hopefully some of the tips will help. I see clients here in Northwest Indiana, and then I also can hook up some kind of a long distance training, because some of these moves, like, they're very easy, you know, and loved ones can do it. Partners, you know, it also helps keep people closer bonded, stuff like that. So hopefully there'll be a few more videos, and maybe I'll have a demo where I have somebody on the table and I can be demonstrating certain moves. But really, it is just the stimulation base. It is that getting the blood to the area, and slowly but surely, and the more often you do it, the better results you will most likely have. I can't say anything is definitive. Everybody is different. So with that, I don't know. Have fun. Good luck. Give me some feedback.